I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. MAGA Republican Kari Lake has lost another lawsuit. This is the final lawsuit, the final claim that was remaining in her continuous frivolous challenge of the 2022 gubernatorial race, where she lost to Katie Hobbs by over 17,000 votes. MAGA Republican Kari Lake is the biggest loser. I mean, she ran on a platform of running for governor in Arizona that the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump. Her main platform of what she wanted to do for the people of Arizona was whine about Donald Trump's 2020 election conspiracy theories. So it is no surprise that she lost that election. So she's continued to file a bunch of these lawsuits, and you may be saying, Ben, I thought you reported on her losing this lawsuit already, where she was challenging the results of the gubernatorial race in Arizona. So what are you talking about? Well, let me explain what happened. Back in December of 2022, there was a trial before Maricopa County Superior Court Judge Peter Thompson in this lawsuit that Kari Lake filed against the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors and Governor Katie Hobbs, challenging the results of the 2022 gubernatorial race. Among other claims, she frivolously and fraudulently asserted that 35,000 votes were just basically added to the total. They were just like laundered in for Katie Hobbs to win, and that was proven to be completely false, as was her other claims. So two of the claims that she brought, that Kari Lake brought, went to trial in Maricopa County Superior Court in December. The judge dismissed all of the other remaining claims before even allowing them to go to trial. Kari Lake pursued appeals regarding everything, took it all the way up to the Supreme Court of Arizona. The Supreme Court of Arizona largely upheld everything the Court of Appeals did and everything that the judge below that, Judge Peter Thompson, did, but ruled that Judge Peter Thompson should have allowed a trial regarding count 3 and shouldn't just have dismissed it. Should have allowed, at the very least, Kari Lake to put on evidence regarding count 3. So what is count 3 of Kari Lake's lawsuit? It involves signature verification, and Kari Lake alleged that no signature verification took place in Maricopa County, but at a trial that had to be held, because remember, the Supreme Court, as I just said, basically ordered Judge Peter Thompson, hey, you should allow her just to have this trial, even though everybody knows she doesn't have the evidence to actually prove her claims, and she's making this very serious allegation here that no signature verifications took place. So allow her to at least put on a case. So she put on this case from May 17th to May 19th, and in her complaint, what she alleged is that no signature verifications at all took place, so that the Maricopa County elections process, they didn't even try to verify the signatures. But she changed that entire theory, like during the trial that she put on May 17th to May 19th. And Judge Peter Thompson points this out in his order, dismissing her trial, dismissing her lawsuit, dismissing her case. And what her theory shifted to was that the time frame within which the verification comparisons were made from the signatures that were on the ballots to the signatures on file, it was too short to allow for a serious comparison, and therefore violated Arizona state law. So Kari Lake shifted her entire legal argument to no verification process took place. Well, let me say this first. She shifted her theory to the reason she lost was that 35,000 votes were just thrown into the election. So once that wasn't proven, she shifted it and she said, okay, actually, no signature verification took place. That's why I lost. And after signature verifications were selected, she goes, okay, there were signature verifications, but the verifiers only looked at it from a very short period of time, and that's why I ultimately lost the election. So you see, just shifting frivolously her legal theories, one can call it shifting, others call it lying. I probably call it just completely and utterly lying and making this stuff up to spread her election conspiracy nonsense. And Judge Peter Thompson, in the 6-page order, rejected Kari Lake's case after 2 days of evidence throughout the case, dismissed it, found there was no clear and convincing evidence of her claim that there was some improper conduct at issue in the verification process, and that the improper whatever allegation that she's asserting could have any impact on the results of the election. So look, Kari Lake is going to file more appeals on this. But at the end of the day, she's going to lose. This was her last potential claim where she is challenging the fact that she lost the gubernatorial race. A few points I want to make. Then I want to just go through some key portions of this order for you. Judge Peter Thompson, who the MAGA Republicans right now are spreading so much nasty hate about on social media. They're spreading conspiracy theories about. You may even recall, remember back in December, after Kari Lake lost the case in December of 2022, she said that Judge Peter Thompson was somehow co-opted by Democratic operatives to write this order. Well, Judge Peter Thompson is a Republican. Okay, he was appointed by the Republican governor of Arizona, Jan Brewer, in 2010. Okay, Judge Peter Thompson, a Republican. You know who's also a Republican? The Republicans control the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. The chair of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors is a Republican. Okay, yet for Kari Lake, that just makes them rhinos if they don't go along with her election conspiracy theories. Let me read from you. This is Maricopa County Board of Supervisor Chairman Clint Hickman, a Republican, critiqued Lake's false claims and her effort to discard the valid votes of hundreds of thousands of Arizona voters.
Oh, hey, when did you get here? Let's take a quick break to talk about our next partner, Henson Shaving. Look, everyone knows how annoying cheap razors are. The cuts, the irritation, the frustration. And don't get me started with subscription razor services, the headaches that those can cause. That's why you gotta meet Henson Shaving. Henson Shaving is a family-owned aerospace parts manufacturer that has made parts for the ISS. That's the International Space Station and Mars rover, and now they're bringing precision engineering to your shaving experience. Razor blades, they're like diving boards. The longer the board, the more wobble, the more nicks, cuts, and scrapes. A bad shave, it isn't a blade problem. It's an extension problem. By using aerospace-grade CNC machines, Henson makes metal razors that extend just 0.0013 inches, which is less than the thickness of human hair. That means a secure and stable blade with a vibration-free shave. It gets better. The razor has built-in channels to evacuate hair and cream, which makes clogging virtually impossible. Seriously, Henson Shaving wants the best razor, not the best razor business. That means no plastic, no subscriptions, no proprietary blades, and no obsolescence. The Henson razor, it works with standard dual-edge blades to give you that old-school shave with the benefit of new-school tech. Once you own the Henson razor, it's only about $3 to $5 per year to replace the blades. My first shave with the Henson razor was incredibly refreshing. The design is sleek and the durability is top notch. The Henson razor is truly much better than your run-of-the-mill quote-unquote traditional razor brand. And the affordability factor is absolutely game-changing. No more wasting your money on expensive blades. With Henson Shaving, you get a year of blades for just $5. Okay, so here's what you have to do. It's time to say no to subscriptions and yes to a razor that'll last you a lifetime. Visit hensonshaving.com/Meidas to pick the razor for you and use code Meidas and you'll get 2 years worth of blades free with your razor. Just make sure to add them to your cart. That's 100 free blades when you head to hensonshaving.com/Meidas and use code Meidas. And now, back to the video.
This Republican chair of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors states the following: when bombshells and smoking guns are not backed up by facts, they fail in court. This is justice, and this is what happened today in Kari Lake's election contest. Going on to talk about the lawyers for Maricopa County, the lawyers representing the parties being sued by Kari Lake stated the following, quote, "The court's ruling only confirms what we have known all along. Arizona's elections are safe, secure, and reliable, and those who help facilitate Arizona's elections are honest, have the highest integrity, and are committed to the preservation of our democracy. This is a victory for Arizona, our election process, and voters across the state." So going into this ruling on this count 3 claim on verification, the court explains, plaintiff brings a claim of misconduct under Arizona law and cites the statute. She must prove by clear and convincing evidence, quote, misconduct on the part of election boards or any members thereof in any of the counties of the state, or on the part of any officer making or participating in a canvass for a state election. She must prove that this misconduct affected the result of the election, and she must do so by a competent mathematical basis, not simply an untethered assertion of uncertainty. And by the way, the case law that now establishes that precedent is the Lake versus Hobbs cases from the Court of Appeals. They are citing the fact that Kari Lake has made these untethered assertions that lack any certainty at all. So going into the heart of it, plaintiff's evidence and arguments do not clear the bar. Plaintiff's strategy shifted shortly thereafter, attempting to prove that the time per signature verification per signature is what was deficient. So I mentioned how at first she said that there was no verification, and then it shifted. This is what her original assertion was. Plaintiffs initially stated the following: Maricopa County did not and could not perform signature verifications given the influx of 1.3 million ballots during the voting period for the November 2022 general election. The complaint alleges this process was not followed by the Maricopa County Board because in the 2020 election, Maricopa County officials, instead of attempting to cure ballots, systematically pushed mismatched ballots through for tabulation without following the required procedure. So that's what Kari Lake asserted. She then shifted it that it was not a sufficient time period for which the verifications were compared, changed her whole legal theory. But then just go into the footnotes too, because sometimes the footnotes of these orders are the best. So footnote 1 talks about how the court notes that even if the court had a basis for disqualifying 70,000 ballots, as Kari Lake wants us to do, under the proportional reduction method prescribed by our state law, given the mathematical computation set forth in the response to defendant's motion to dismiss, plaintiff would not prevail. It's an important point there. The court saying, even if we embrace your conspiracy theory under the mathematical formula that the law requires, you still lose. You will still lose the election, even if you proved what your ridiculous conspiracy theory that's totally frivolous is. That's footnote 1. Footnote number 2 goes on to say that Kari Lake's asserted an argument that the signature verification was the only safeguard against fraudulent ballots being counted. The court disagrees and takes notice of the process employed by Maricopa County to sanitize early voting lists, address verification, and voter name correlation to ballot envelopes, as one of the witnesses testified. So again, just another BS phony allegation by Kari Lake. Here's the findings of fact and conclusion of law. As to count 3, the court does not find either clear and convincing evidence or preponderance of evidence of misconduct. The court does not find either clear and convincing evidence or a preponderance of evidence that such a misconduct was committed by an officer making or participating in a canvass. C, the court does not find either clear and convincing evidence or a preponderance of evidence that such misconduct did in fact affect the result of the 2022 general election by a competent mathematical basis. Therefore, it is ordered confirming the election of Governor Katie Hobbs pursuant to Arizona state statute. And then it is further ordered that the case be further briefed on the issue of fees and costs. In other words, Kari Lake may owe more money now for bringing this frivolous case in the first place. But folks, there you have it again. Kari Lake losing one more time. Look, she's likely going to appeal this, but it's going absolutely nowhere. They will spread their wild conspiracy theories here, but let's be very clear. Maricopa County, chaired by a Republican, okay? Their board of supervisors, Republican. The judge in this case, Republican, appointed by a Republican governor. It's just that the new MAGA Republicans are not normal Republicans. It's just they are not a normal Republican Party anymore. They are a party of Donald Trump, of grifting and lying and misconduct and whining and complaining and lies. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your awesome support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, and wherever you get audio podcasts, make sure you subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. It is free. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free, and have a fantastic day.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.